2014, organized by HKAD. I am the chairperson of this debate, Eunice, and this is the timekeeper of this debate, Anson. The motion for this debate is zoos should be banned. Before we start the debate, may I first introduce the competing teams and speakers. On the positive side, Good Hope School Primary Section, Captain Yumi Lam. First speaker, Rachel Wong. Second speaker, Kristen Chu. May I invite both sides to sit down. On the positive side, Good Hope School Primary Section, Captain Yumi Lam. First speaker, Rachel Wong. Second speaker, Kristen Chu. And third speaker, Louis Su. On the negative side, Alliance Primary School, Kowloon Tong. Captain Ethan Lam. Second speaker, Daniel Chua. Concluding speaker, Amos Chan. We are also honored to have Mr. Kelvin Tang, Ms. Celia Lee, and Ms. Alice Peng to adjudicate the debate for us. Thank you. There will be two sessions in this debate, the main debate and the free debate session. In the main debate session, the positive side's captain will open the debate, followed by the captain from negative side. The first positive side speaker will deliver the speech, followed by the first negative side speaker. The second speaker from the positive side will deliver the speech, followed by the second speaker from negative side. We will then proceed to the free debate session. The rules of free debate will be explained later in the session. After the free debate session, each side will have 1 minute to prepare for the concluding speeches. The debate will be concluded by first the negative concluding speaker and then the positive concluding speaker. The speaking time for this debate will be Captain, 3 minutes. First and second speaker, 2 minutes. Concluding speaker, 3 minutes. When speaker has 30 seconds left, the bell will ring once. When the time is up, the bell will ring twice. Speakers will have 15 seconds grace period to wrap up their speeches. When speakers reach 16 seconds over time, the bell will ring thrice. Speakers should stop their speech immediately or they risk mark penalty. Transgression of the grace period will be penalized by a deduction of 5 points per 5 seconds for each adjudicator. Before I open the debate, may I ask if there is any question regarding the rules of the debate? If no, without further ado, I will now like to call upon the captain of the positive team to open the debate.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, honorable judges, our learned opponent, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait. Thank you. Please give a signal to the timekeeper first.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, honorable judges, my learned opponents, ladies and gentlemen. I am the captain from the affirmative team. Today's motion is zoos should be banned. Our team strongly agrees with the motion. Have you all been to a zoo? If you can recall, are animals walking freely? Are they kept in cages? Or are they performing on shows? The one point is for sure. Animals are kept there to entertain humans. Zoo exists to entertain humans at the expense of the suffering of animals. Zoos are unnatural, no matter the size or the environment. The size of the living place for the animals in zoos is a lot smaller compared to the wild. Even safari parks, there are still electric fences around, enjoy freedom and space. Zoos and naturalists disable animals to use their instinct to live, because they no longer need to. The lives become miserable by default. Some animals are forced to play tricks, or even forced to be killed as surplus. Zoos are cruel to animals. My first speaker will further elaborate on the negative impact of zoos and naturalists and cruelty. Some people claim that zoos are educational, because we get to see more animals we seldom see in our daily lives. Think carefully. Are zoos really educating? Does seeing an animal equals to learning about it? Zoo animals' behavior often differ from those living in nature. Visitors are not seeing the truth. There's a common misconception that zoos are doing a lot to conserve endangered species. What they do is keep or breed them to maintain the population only in the zoo. These are just marketing gimmicks. Their motive behind is profit. My second speaker will further elaborate on why zoos are not educational and does not serve conservation purposes. Our team believes that even though zoos may serve purposes that are beneficial to humans, namely education, entertainment, or money-making, we should not infringe animals' basic right to freedom. It is not okay to use animals to make money at their suffering. We humans are the culprits that put the animals to suffering. Zoos should be banned so that we can end their suffering. In light of the above, today's motion must stand. Thank you.
Time used, 2 minutes and 35 seconds. No point will be deducted. I thank the captain of the positive team for the speech. May I now invite the captain from the negative team to deliver the speech.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Following our opponents have not even defined what is a zoo. So allow me to clarify what zoos really are. A zoo, according to both National Geographic and Wikipedia, is a place where animals are kept and bred in environments that approximate animals' natural environment. Zoos come in many different types, from urban zoos to petting farms to safari parks. For the motion to stand, our opponents must prove to us why every single type of zoo, regardless of the size and management, should be banned. Our team is going to show you how, from both the human and animals' perspectives, that zoos should not be banned, but rather regulated. My first speaker will explain how zoos are well needed for conservation and protection of animals. And my second speaker will explain how zoos are important places for education to take place. Our opponents think that zoos are only just dirty cages with starved animals inside. But zoos have changed a lot since the 19th century. In place of barred cages, open enclosures surrounded by moats are used. Many zoos consist of mini habitats that resembles the animal's natural environment. Bronx Zoo and Singapore Night Safari are two examples. And although zoo animals aren't treated like 4-star guests as a hotel, but care for animals has improved a lot. Zookeepers now understand that many animals need engaging activities to prevent boredom. This is why you often see chimps playing with toys or tigers hunting for live prey. Though we admit that zoos are not always animal heaven, but we believe that regulations can solve all problems that side proposition have raised. All problems side proposition have raised can be eliminated. So I believe that zoos should not be banned. Thank you.
Time used, 2 minutes and 25 seconds. No point will be deducted. I thank the captain of the negative team for the speech. I now call upon the first speaker from the positive team to deliver the speech. Chairperson, honorable judges, my learned opponents, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. We argue that zoos should be banned because they are unnatural. Wild elephants, for example, live in large social groups and communicate with others miles away. Such far-ranging and highly social interactions they need can never be provided in captivity, not even in safaris. Zoos also fail to satisfy the natural instincts of tigers and leopards to run and hunt. Look at the polar bear in Chicago's Lincoln Park Zoo. Because of the warm climate in Chicago, the polar bear fails to build up body fat and has to stay indoors to keep warm. The unnatural environment of zoos take away animals' natural instincts. Secondly, zoos should be banned because they are cruel. Zoos are like prisons and animals lose their freedom in zoos. According to Journal of Applied Animal Welfare Science, due to the limited space of enclosures, harassment from visitors, and lack of food variety, zoo animals suffer depression and even exhibit self-destructive behaviors. The seemingly nice and large roaming place in the safaris is armed with electric fence. Animals will be electrocuted when they come near. Zoos are cruel as surplus animals are killed. A healthy giraffe and a family of 4 lions were killed to make way for a new lion in a well-regulated zoo in Denmark. According to BBC, such practices were even approved by the European Association of Zoos and Aquariums. Zoos inflict cruelty to animals and take away animals' rights to freedom and basic instincts. We have already seen even safaris and well-run zoos are no exceptions. No purposes can ever justify the existence of zoos. They simply not right to be there and therefore must be banned. Thank you. Time used, 2 minutes and 9 seconds. No point will be deducted. I thank the first speaker of the positive team for the speech. I now call upon the first speaker from the negative team to deliver the speech.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We believe that regulation is the way to go. The World Association of Zoos and Aquariums, WASA, has established a code of ethics which zoos around the world have to follow. This protects animals' rights. Our opponents argue that zoos remain more like prisons for animals. But if you look at the facts, you realize they're not prisons, rather sanctuaries. According to research done by National Wildlife Federation, more than 100 species become extinct in the wild every day. Humans destroy their habitats and hunt them down. Zoos provide a chance for rebirth through conservation and breeding programs. About 145 zoos around the world have reintroduced endangered species back to their native habitats. The most successful example is the breeding of white tigers in Chimelong Park, China. Since 2006, it has successfully bred more than 100 tigers. That's about half of the world's population. On a more natural note, safari parks and game reserves protect wild animals from illegal hunting and poaching. These types of zoos allow animals to roam free and to reproduce at their natural rate. For example, the Gondwana Reserve in South Africa. Why would SITE proposition ban even these types of zoos? In a nutshell, zoos serve as refugee centers and hospitals to endangered species. We do not ban all hospitals just because there are few cases of malpractices. Likewise, zoos should not be banned simply because of a handful of poorly run zoos. This motion must fall. Thank you.
Time used, 1 minute and 58 seconds. No point will be deducted. I thank the first speaker of the negative team for the speech. I now invite the second speaker from the positive team to deliver the speech.
really true. Whatever happens, keeping animals behind cages, giving them limited spaces to live, is still a cruel act. Now back to my point. Zoos do a terrible job to educate people about animals. 4 shows a day, 7 days a week. Dolphins and seals and birds in Ocean Park do 112 shows a month and are showcased in zoos to attract visitors. Similar show schedules are common in zoos around the world. Zoos should feel ashamed when they use conservation and education as marketing tools to justify the real money-making intention. By putting animals in captivity and performances, they actually convey terribly wrong concept that it's alright for humans to exploit animals as money-making tools. People should not learn about animals by putting them in captivity. According to the Journal of Society and Animals, there is no compelling evidence that zoos promote attitude change, education, or interest in conservation in visitors. According to the National Geographic News, the conservation work of zoos is actually too little to be accounted for. Only 10% of zoos worldwide are involved in conservation, but spending a pitiful net of less than 3% of budget on that, while billions of dollars are spent on marketing to attract visitors. Zoos are overclaiming their commitment in conservation when only so little is spent. The huge amount of money pumped away by zoos can be more effectively spent on the protection of animals' habitats. Zoos divert the much needed money for conservation and convey wrong messages about animals. For the well-being of animals, zoos should be banned. Today's motion must stand. Thank you.
Time used, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. No point will be deducted. I thank the second speaker of the positive team for the speech. May I now invite the second speaker from the negative team to deliver the speech.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. They said that zoos often keep animals in small confinements. But zoos' conditions have improved and many zoos try to imitate animals' natural environments where they are surrounded by moats instead of cages. They also said that animals are supposed to live in the wild, but reality is that nature is being destroyed by the second. Without zoos, many animals would have gone extinct. Which is better, death or being kept in a safe environment? Zoos should not be banned because they are important places for research. The Dublin Zoo was opened by medical professions who wished to study animals closely. The knowledge is useful in helping people to understand the animal world more. Secondly, lay people can see animals in zoos up close and learn about their natural habits. For example, when learning that city light affects nocturnal animals, we'll be more determined to fight against light pollution. Many zoos not only put animals on display, but also educate the public on important lessons, such as conservation and preservation. The Night Safari in Singapore educates the public on protection of the natural environment. Thirdly, what will become of the animals if zoos were banned? Many would have nowhere to live and many may not be able to fend for themselves in the wild. Furthermore, if many animals were released back to the wild all at once, it will only upset the delicate balance of nature. Think about it. Thousands of animals will die just because zoos are banned. That is why this motion must fall.
Time used, 2 minutes and 8 seconds. No point will be deducted. I thank the second speaker of the negative team for the speech. We will now proceed to the free debate session of the debate. The positive side and the opposition will each have 2 minutes of time to speak. Time will run on a cumulative basis for each side separately. Each speaker shall stand up before he or she begins and sit down after finishing his or her speech. No speaker can stand up and speak for more than 2 consecutive times. The positive side shall begin first. One of its speakers on stage shall stand up and speak. Once the said speaker sits down, the clock will begin to run for the opposition. A speaker from the opposition shall then stand up and respond immediately, and shall sit down after he or she finished. The positive side and the opposition shall speak in turn until one of the teams has used up the entire duration of time attributed to it. When the team has 30 seconds left, the bell will ring once. When one team has used up their speaking time, the bell will ring twice. The other side shall then send one of its team members to use up all the remaining duration of time. Is there any problem regarding the rules of free debate? If not, may I now invite speaker from the positive team to open the free debate.
Studies show that 200 animals suffer depression and have much shorter lifespan than living in the wild. As you think that it is unnecessary for zoos to be banned, does this mean that you think this is all right?
Reality is that nature is being destroyed by the second without zoos. Many animals would have gone extinct. Which is better, death or being kept in a safe environment? Also, isn't regulations better than banning all zoos?
Banning zoos can have a really great effect. Firstly, when the zoos are banned, no more new zoos can be opened because it is not morally right to captivate animals for entertainment. There are animal sanctuaries that can take good care of animals while not making money from them.
Just in 2010, China has passed a law saying that animals cannot be used as entertainment.
What will become of the animals if zoos were banned?
Excuse me. Chairman.
You can't have 2 speakers to talk during one time. Positive side, please continue.
It is just morally wrong to confine animals and deprive them of their basic rights to freedom and need to live with their social interactions with their types for whatever humanly purposes or benefits. Zoo conditions have improved and many zoos try to imitate animals' natural habits where they are surrounded by moats instead of cages. And what will become of the animals if zoos were banned?
What happened to zoo animals of banned zoos?
Can you reverse the damage of human activities so that nature is fit for animals again?
First, no more new zoos should be opened because it is morally not right. Captivate animals for entertainment. There are animal sanctuaries that can take good care of animals while not making money from them.
As my captain has just said, zoos conditions have improved and many zoos try to imitate animals' natural environment where they're surrounded by moats instead of cages. So if a few zoos are banned, why should we ban all of them and not let them improve? But even safaris and night zoos remove animals from their natural habitats and deprive their freedom.
Reality is that nature is being destroyed by the second. Without zoos, many animals would have gone extinct. Which is better, death or being captive?
As the second
Our respected speaker has said, zoos have the other side may use their remaining time to finish up.
Though we admit that zoos are not always animal heaven, but they play important functions of conservation and education. With better regulations, we believe all the problems that scientists have raised can be eliminated. For the animals and our future generation, zoos should not be banned.
I thank the teams for the exciting round. Now, both teams will have 1 minute to prepare the concluding speech. Preparation time starts now. Time is up. May I invite the concluding speaker from the negative side to conclude the negative team's case.
Ladies and gentlemen, if only a few zoos are substandard, should all zoos be banned? The answer is obvious. Today, our opponents repeatedly pointed out the poor practices of a few zoos and concluded that all zoos should be banned. Allow me to point out the flaws in our opponents' speeches. First, they said that zoos are interested in profits more than animal rights. Actually, zoos need to have income to provide adequately for animals, or otherwise they'll be running like charities, which is always out of funds. They also insisted that all zoos lock up animals in cramped cages, and animals are left to rot. That is clearly not the case. Zoos have improved since the 19th century, and many imitate the natural habitat of animals. Just look at the National Zoological Gardens of South Africa and even Singapore Zoo that is just next door. We have strong reasons to believe that they will continue to improve with more knowledge of animals' needs. Our opponents would like you to believe that we are the hollow side that doesn't care about animal rights. On the contrary, we are the side that supports conservation of animals. Zoos bear the important task of breeding endangered species, educating the public and protecting the environment. And precisely for this reason, we believe in stricter regulations, so zoos meet high standards instead of banning all zoos. Face it, our nature is being destroyed by human activities even as we speak. Zoos are a haven for animals to have a home. Why don't we set up regulations rather than banning zoos? Also, our opponents still haven't answered the 4 questions that we have raised up in the open debate session. How can you reverse the damage of human activities so nature is fit for humans again? If a few zoos are bad, why should we ban all zoos? Isn't regulation better than a ban? And where will all the animals go when all zoos are banned?
positive team to conclude today's debate.
Good afternoon, Chairperson, honorable judges, our learned opponents, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of my team, I would like to remind you all that zoos are unnatural, cruel, and damaging in many ways. Therefore, zoos should be banned. Before I sum up, let me start with some rebuttals. Our opponents had said that it helps giving endangered animals another chance to live, but zoos are not the major ways to endanger species. There are more important and effective ways, such as animal protection programs or habitats provided by research centers. And also, only a few species are successfully saved and animals are still captured. People are more interested in profits rather than animal rights. Now back to my summary. Our first speaker has clearly demonstrated with concrete examples that zoos are unnatural. Zoos are cruel because even well-run zoos and safaris deprive animals basic rights to freedom and the behavioral or social aspects of animals in enclosures. They change the animal's instinct. Zoo animals' lives become independent on zoos and they lose their ability to survive outside the zoos. Our first speaker has also told us zoos are cruel. Zoos kill surplus animals. Zoos are cruel because they captivate and train animals to perform for entertainment and make money. We must put such cruelty to a stop because this is simply not right. Our second speaker told us that zoos use the labels of conservation and education to justify their money-making business. Zoos make huge money, but only very few zoos put a tiny percentage of their budget on conservation. They pump away the much-needed money for more effective ways to protect animals, which is the conservation of their habitats. Zoos teach wrong concepts about animals by confining them and putting them on shows to entertain visitors and make money. Zoos tell enough lies on promises on conservation and education, which they actually fail to deliver. Parents and teachers should stop taking children to zoos so that they do not learn wrong concepts about animals. We don't need to learn about animals by seeing them in captivity. We can watch documentaries and read books to learn about the real situation of animals. Remember, seeing is not learning. Confining animals is wrong because humans don't have the right to capture, breed, and use animals to make money. The money earned from tourism doesn't actually go to the animals' welfare. Animals have the right to be in the wild and have freedom. We humans do not have the right to constrain the rights of animals. Therefore, today's motion must stand. Thank you.